Welcome, good morning everyone. Thank you for coming. This is our spring congregational meeting. We push spring right to the limit in that definition. This is our spring congregational meeting. I want to welcome you and thank you for attending. Our first order of business today is approval of the special congregational meeting minutes.
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Ken moves to approve the meeting minutes as written. I believe Chris is seconding that. Are there any additions or corrections to the meeting minutes from the February special congregational meeting? With no additions or corrections, I ask for a voice vote to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting minutes are accepted. Thank you. Our second item on the agenda is the acceptance of our written annual report. So we have our written annual report here. Ken makes a motion to accept the annual report as submitted. Gary seconds it. Are there any questions or concerns? Yes, Louise.
Just a question. Is this annual report available anywhere else other than the copy we have today?
It will be published online. And if you look online on the church website, under the council page, there is the last 3 years worth of annual reports that are out there, and we will publish this one. Once it's accepted, Amy will publish this, I would assume, within the next week or two. Any other questions? All right, I will again ask for a voice vote. And everyone who approves the annual reports as submitted, say aye. 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 Motion passes. Our next item of business is the election of church council officers and team representatives.
I move we accept the ballot as presented and cast a unanimous vote in favor of their election.
Repeat that for everyone. Ken, make sure I say this correctly. Ken makes a motion to accept the ballot as presented and to make a unanimous vote to accept all council representatives. Is there a second? Bill seconds. Are there any questions or discussion? Yes, Louise.
So I hadn't even looked at this before it got accepted or the motion was made. So I noticed there's two blank spaces.
Correct. So I'm going to repeat that so it's on the recording. Rhonda's going to take the notes from the recording. So and your backs are all to the camera, right? And I'm facing. So Louise is saying she noticed that there are two blank positions, two open positions on the council. Yes, that is correct. Tracy Graymount has generously accepted the position of associate moderator, which has opened up the liturgy team. I will plug for this team. It is a very important team in this time of transition. Tracy has been doing she has been doing all of the legwork and all the coordinations with our lay ministers. So we really would need some support. If there's anyone willing to nominate from the floor or anyone who'd like to step forward at a later time, please see Joey or myself, and we'll discuss the position with you. As well as we have an open position for community outreach. So this is support for our missions out in the community and gives our church great visibility as well to the outside community. So again, another very important position for us on the council. Yes, Louise?
Jean mentioned and I are going to be the community outreach team. We nominate ourselves.
I'll nominate you, Louise.
Jean and I, it's yeah. You're hearing from us. So I want to hear our platform before you vote.
Our platform. Claude, you had your hand?
I was just going to, before she nominated herself, I was going to ask her if there was a job description of that role, so we would
we can do a job description. I'm not sure we have.
No, I guess,
yet.
you must know what you're getting yourself into, and you accept these roles.
All right, do I have a motion to accept Louise and Janine? Yes, Claude?
I motion to accept.
You have a motion on the floor, you can't make another motion.
Can we amend the motion, Ken?
Huh?
Can we amend your motion? Can we make an amendment
I'll
to your
make an
motion?
amendment, I guess we can amend the motion to include Louise and Jean on the.
I think Chris just seconded that amendment. Chris, you know we've talked about this in the past. You can't just second everything, agree with Ken all the time, right? All right, you're a smart man, Chris. Stick with Ken, you'll go places. Any other discussion or questions? All right, I will call for a vote of hands to accept our amended ballot. All those in favor? Any concerns? That passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the council, our new members. At this point, we have a couple brief updates, not full reports from council, but a couple brief updates, starting with the transition plan. So the executive council has been out on a search for an interim. We have talked to, are we up to 4 or 5 now, Joey? 4? We've talked to 4 different candidates, all with different strengths, different approaches, trying to find what is the right fit for us to build a bridge to a call and to starting that search committee and helping us grieve and heal as a congregation and come together. We're still going through this process, and we have, I will say we have a couple that are still available. We probably are running out of candidates, to be honest with ourselves. And we're going to have another meeting here in the next couple of weeks, and the executive council will look at what our options are and come up with a proposal. I will say that some of the things we are thinking about probably are not, I'll say, traditional in terms of you read the traditional guidance that comes from the conference. So we're looking to put together what's right for us to help us heal and to grow. And unfortunately, maybe in some cases we did not move fast enough, but we want to make sure we're making the right choice for us. So that is still in process. Once we have that interim on, we will start the search committee and the call for a full-time person. Second update on here is around building and building repairs. I'm going to ask Bill to come up and give us this update.
Good morning. I want to start with the good news. It's going to be very brief. Even though, as I mentioned in our annual report, even though we slowed down from the summer months, your property team is continuing with its weekly, monthly, quarterly inspection stuff, and we've accomplished a great deal. The leak we encountered from our flat roof into the near the entrance in a dental hall, dental room is repaired and up to snuff. Some water excess here. You're aware of what we got planned for the outdoor grounds here coming soon. So I mean, that's, like I say, that's the brief part of the good news. Also in the annual report, I mentioned the incredibly frustrating aspect on our elevator repair. It started out so positive with the MEI getting the mechanical side done, equipment purchased and installed rapidly, and then come to find out we have an electrical issue. Well, that electrical issue, as most electrical issues, I'm being told, is pretty far-reaching. They lost two control boards, one tape that's on the carriage itself, telling the mechanism it's gone to this particular, it's being asked to move to this particular level, and also one that was a door operation board. That's when the madness started. They took those two boards, came back and said we have one board we have in our stock and one board we're sending out for repair. After multiple calls by me for updates and timing for that repair activity for that second board, they returned the call to tell me that board had been lost. So now they have to go find another board. Well, a few weeks or a month or two went by, and they did find a second board, a newer board. They scheduled it and they installed the two boards. At that particular juncture, they discovered another electrical problem. They identified that feeds the board with electrical stuff. Anyway, so the second issue is being addressed. They're sending me a second troubleshooting quotation to find what I feel is the root electrical problem. Probably blew the two other boards out. And when I get that, I'm going to bring it to the council. We're going to talk about it because I'm sure it will be similar to the first, which was about $7,200. So nothing good with the elevator has happened, at least on my watch. I keep calling myself the kiss of death property team. Yes, sir.
Phil, could any of that damage to the boards be related to the storm?
That's the best question anybody could ask. If I didn't hear it, Ken asked, is any of this damage and cost of repair attributable to our power surge here March of last year? The answer to that question is yes. And we are submitting it to our insurance guy as we get these bills and bring them forward. They even feel as though, our insurance adjuster even feels as though that the mechanical side of the jack that moved the elevator up and down, that repair and the purchase of a new jack can also be submitted to insurance for some help. So you guys were kind enough to allow us to, throw a budgetary repair number, I believe, of 111 grand that we were going to take care of by a loan. So far, we're well under it, which is another, I guess, piece of good news. But at the same time, there's a lot of ifs still going. What is the point of that? This new quote, and again, from an electrical standpoint, I know I had an old car I had. I chased electrical problems for years. And how far will the insurance company cover us? The problem there is it's almost a 20-year-old piece of elevator equipment, and so they amortize that value down, predicated on the amount of years of age involved. I hope that gives you an idea of what we've been up against. This has been extremely frustrating. Like I was telling Ken earlier in the last phone call I had with Otis, I almost used the Lord's name in vain. So, any other questions regarding this last 12 months? Thank you very much.
What about the windows?
Good point. Contacted them last week. They are finishing up with, we are on deck. They're working right now at a church in Dubuque, and then when they finish that, we're up. So they predicted June, so it's probably going to be the first couple weeks of July. So. And that money's already set aside and raised. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Thank you, Phil. The final brief update is financials. Unfortunately, Phil was not able to attend today. We are publishing our financials with our meeting minutes out every month. So you'll get a detailed report update from Amy when the July newsletter comes out. Overall, our financials are looking good. We are looking on track overall for what we passed as a budget back in our February special meeting. The team has been working closely with the accountant. They are fine-tuning all of our processes, making sure that we have checks and balances, so people approving expenses are not the same ones writing and signing checks. So we're getting some improvements in the quality of service that we have here. Along with these changes, Becky and the accountant have implemented Realm to track our pledges and our income. That in conjunction with upgraded QuickBooks, I think now is working and working well. We're now able to generate reports that we feel are accurate and account for our church finances accurately. Questions on finances, hopefully answered. All right, those are our overall council updates for this meeting. Next, we have some special recognition and thanks that Jody wants to give. I'm going to just say thanks as well. As I wrote in my annual report, I really want to thank the council. In my annual report, I called us the hardest working council in history of this congregation. I don't think that I'm stretching the truth by saying that. The number of special meetings that we had, the number of meetings that we had that went late, the number of times we were still here after 10 o'clock at night. I just want to thank everyone for their dedication and support.
Thank you, Jason. We have some special thank yous. We have outgoing council members. Ken Matthews has led our staff support and review for the last, I think, 3.5 years. But Ken never goes far. He's going to remain on the team to support Nancy, and we've got a few other people joining, so it's great to see that team expand and have a lot of support for our staff. Eric Olson has handled community outreach. We can't exactly figure it. He just said he joined during the pandemic, so whatever, time flies, right? So a special thank you to Eric. He was willing to stay on unofficially and until we found someone, so he'll be thrilled that Gina Louise volunteered today. So thank you to Eric. And most of all, thank you to Jason Jock. It has been an interesting couple of years. I made a list here. We have dealt with lightning strikes, insurance claims, elevator repairs, budget worries, listening sessions, tenant search, interim search, the minister the list just gets really long and a little depressing. So I just want to personally thank Jason. He's been a great leader. Even when we are all feeling down and in the dumps, he reminds us to have faith. So thank you, Jason. And then a final thanks to all of our council families. It's kind of hard to be a family member, especially a spouse of a council member. We do stay late. We have lots of meetings. My husband comes through sometimes at 7:30 and goes, "You're still on Zoom." So just a special thank you to our family members. Hopefully things start to get a little bit more normal from this point forward. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I move we close the meeting.
As we're going to close the meeting, I'm going to ask us to bow our heads, and I'm actually going to steal from the very end of today's prayer of invocation. So I'm going to borrow but give credit here. As we answer your call, move forward in our midst, inspire us with your love, send us forward in your name, one people, one in your will, unified with your purpose, generous with your love. Amen.
Amen. Now I'll move close. the meeting.
Is there a second? All right, I hear Chris first, sorry. Well, he's faster than you, he's on the ball. Meeting is adjourned, thank you all.